Based on where all the bucks stopped the previous evening, any opportunity from this blind is likely to push my maximum range. Before heading out, I take several shots just to be sure I'm ready. It's been pretty action-packed here for the last half hour or so. Had 8 different 1.5-year-old bucks out in the plot, both in front and behind, and 6 longbeards. And that really nice young buck that we've been seeing here all the time, he just jumped the fence and came into the plot. Hopefully that means that some of the older deer will start to come in. The nice thing is, those 1.5-year-old bucks had no problem coming right down to the blind. They were right underneath the blind feeding, so that could be a good sign for this afternoon if the older deer that come in follow that same suit. And hopefully we can see some kind of a mature buck. I mean, I'm not going to be real choosy. That tight rack tend to be great, or crusty, or really any other buck that wants to show up here that's got some maturity would be just fine. But this really nice young buck is definitely going to get a pass. Boy, I want to see that deer in 2 years. He's going to be a really, really good buck. I originally planted this plot to soybeans, but due to dry conditions they never produced. In early August I drilled Big and Beastie into the beans using the RTP Genesis seeder. Having a tool that provides this level of flexibility is a definite advantage when trying to create the best possible food plots.
Realtree is best known for their effective camo patterns, but they also sell accessories that improve hunting. One of these is their Easy Arm Guard. When bow hunting, it is important to keep the fabric of your jacket from interfering with the string. The Easy Arm Guard keeps the string path clear for accurate shooting.
After you have done all you can to reduce the odors on your clothing and on your body, the next logical step is to do all you can to reduce the odors in the air. That is where the ozonics units come in. The ozone emitted drops down over your scent stream and destroys a large amount of the odor molecules that remain. Hoyt has produced a long and rich line of target bow success. This level of experience gives Hoyt engineers an advantage when creating the ultimate hunting machines, bows that are both rugged and as super accurate as their best target models.
Yeah. Okay, now we're in business. That's 15 bucks. That's tight rack. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have to get his butt down here. You got plenty of time. Yeah, we did. Yeah, he's moving. It always just seems too good to be true. It was last night too, but we'll see. might see just a little bit here. Is he looking? No. How about now? No. Oh, yes. 45 again. He's at 40 right now. I don't like where that other deer is. If he stops, I'm shooting. That got him, didn't it? Yeah, he's going down already. Well, I guess that's one way to clear the field. Boy, that deer, 2 nights in a row, he did exactly the same thing. It really wears your nerves raw when they do that, when they come from so far away. I mean, my hands are still shaking. And they worked their way up so gradually. And then he came up to about just under 40. And I had told myself I was going to shoot if he got to 40 and gave me a good shot. Well, then he started angling away. And he was probably about 43, but I mean, the arrow hit him perfect. He was already going down when he went out of sight over the top of the hill there. So, I mean, the plan doesn't always come together. This late season hunting can be pretty tough sometimes, but for whatever reason, this food plot is absolutely pulling the deer. The bucks. We had 15 different bucks come out. Almost all of them were 1.5-year-old bucks, but 15 different bucks. And I think it's because the big and beastie plot here is the only really good food source around. You know, they're just piling into this spot. So, well, there's nothing to wait for. I guarantee you he's on the ground. I mean, that arrow went right square in the right spot, and his butt was dropping and his tail was flicking when he went out of sight there. So I'm going to climb down and head over there and take a look at him. It's a pretty good buck there. That was that shed. So he was about 10 yards past the shed and a little bit to the left. So he should be an arrow right here somewhere. Covered with blood. Pretty good blood trail. He never stopped running. The old tight rack 10. He's a narrow little bugger. Look at that. Not more than 2 inches between the ends of his 2 main beams. That's funny. It looks like he broke off part of the 2 on this side. Yeah, he was almost exactly the same size last year. I think he was, well, I shouldn't say that. He might have been just a little tiny bit smaller last year, but he's definitely not one of those bucks that grew a bunch. He's a 5-year-old for sure. We filmed him 2 years ago in a big food plot. It's about, I bet it's a half a mile from here. And then we never saw him last year, even though we hunted that area a fair amount. And we started getting pictures of him this year and had him pretty well pegged as far as where we thought he was living. And that was, again, that same area, about a half a mile away. to have this deer show up here was a pretty good surprise. Like I said, I mean, I didn't expect to see him here last night, but he was a welcome guest, that's for sure, because Krusty, the buck we were after, has been a no-show. I don't know if he's still alive or where that buck is, but this guy's pretty cool. He's got a lot of character. You know, we talk about age of a buck as being the thing that we look at as far as determining the trophy quality of the deer. Not to say that we don't like deer with big antlers, those are cool too, but this is one of those bucks that's got a lot of antler character, and he's got that 5-year-old age, which for me, that definitely puts him in the trophy category. The tight rack 10 is not going to haunt the farm anymore. So I have to think next year, this was going to be one of my targets for next year, but hopefully there'll be a couple others that crop up and take his place. That's pretty cool. Well, I better get a tag on him. Like I said, I'm going to be a little bit gentle on how hard I pull on those antlers, because we're at that point in the season now where it wouldn't be unexpected at all to pop those right off. Cool hunt. Very cool hunt. The Frigid Forge Big and Beastie plot pulled in 15 different bucks on this hunt. We've had tremendous success with Big and Beastie in the past. This food plot pulled the tight rack 10 from his normal range roughly a half-mile away and eventually produced a shot. That is the value of great late-season food plots like Big and Beastie. Fuse includes a sight light with every Cybex sight that they sell. These lights make a tremendous difference when shooting from blinds. This is the second buck I've taken this year in low light conditions, and the sight light makes it possible to see your pins clearly for precise shooting even at 40 yards. During the late season, most of our coldest days coincide with northerly or northwesterly winds. This redneck blind is in a row of cedar trees on the east end of the plot, perfect for a northwest wind. Hunting from a redneck blind definitely increases the number of hours I spend in the field during the late season. My rocket steelhead produced a heavy blood trail on the tight rack 10. He barely made it out of sight before dropping. I felt good about the fact that even though the arrow was tight to the buck's shoulder, penetration was never an issue. Steelheads are the best penetrating mechanical heads I've ever used or tested. The Easton FMJ arrow passed through the tight rack 10 at over 40 yards. When you have to take shots at the limits of your comfortable range, it is important to use the very best gear that you can afford. The FMJ arrows are super straight and very consistent. That is why most of our pro staff trust their hunts to the Easton FMJ. With 10 days remaining in Iowa season, Mike Reed and Jared Mills are back on Mike's farm. Two hunters are on a mission to reduce doe numbers and harvest one of several mature bucks Mike has on camera.
Well, it's December 31st. This weekend we're down at the farm. Jared and I are both hunting. We've got a northwest wind which sets up perfect for this blind. Blows out of the food plot into this big draw behind us. We've got some barometric pressure changes happening, so hopefully the deer will feed early tonight and we can see one of these mature bucks. I've got a few other mature bucks in this area that are more management type bucks, so I'm not going to be too picky. I've got 4 evenings to hunt here, so Saturday through Tuesday. I'm really looking forward to the next few days and hoping we can pull it off. Well, it's Sunday, January 1st. It's a little bit warmer tonight than it was yesterday. We're set up on the other side of the same field that we hunted last night. I'm hoping that we can catch up with Hoss out of this thing. was a cool encounter. That's a 6.5-year-old buck. I call it Dorsey. I have him on as kind of a management buck. I really want to hold off with the muzzleloader for either Hoss or Southpaw in case they try to skirt me. So I was ready with the bow, but the closest he got was 52 yards. And then he just decided to turn and walk the other way. So he's just feeding in the cut beans, walking away from all these nice standing beans and turnips. So I still got my fingers crossed that Hoss will pop out right here. You know, I'm going to be back out here next weekend. I'm taking my wife out the next couple nights, so if he does that again, we'll be shooting him in those situations. But tonight I'm going to try to wait for Hoss to come out.
Muddy's ProCam line is made up of very affordable portable cameras that have excellent battery life. Because their total cost to own and operate is low, you can run more of them on the same budget. More cameras means more information, and that eventually leads to an increase in success.
When hanging and hunting on public land, we never head to the woods without our Muddy Pro climbing sticks. They attach easily to the back of the stand, the rope cam system makes for a silent setup, and you can get up a tree very quick and quiet with these sticks.
Placing your trophy rocks off the ground increases their lifespan. Since they don't dissolve into a pool of water when it rains, the rocks will be available for several weeks before the deer have licked away every last ounce.
When hunting public land, sometimes you have to get creative with your access. One of the things that we like to use is our Cabela's Advanced Angler Kayak. It's a sit-on-top kayak, and it's got a lot of storage on top of the kayak and inside of the kayak. This allows us to get all of our equipment to the spot that we plan on hunting.
Late season hunting has been action-packed for Mike and Jared. However, the mature bucks have stayed just out of reach. Close calls and near misses keep the anticipation high, but so far, buck tags remain unfilled. Aaron Warburton continues his quest on public land, but with far less action. Hunting pressure makes predicting deer movement difficult, and he has yet to get a deer within 50 yards of his old Hawkins muzzleloader.
Well, we're about out of legal light, and the plan didn't work, let's just say that. It's been par for the course out here on public land these past couple of weeks. Just have to keep trying, I guess.
On January 5th, Greg Clements scouts one of his best public land spots and sees at least a dozen deer. Even better, the parade passes within 20 yards of one of Greg's other stands. That evening, Greg relays the good news, and Aaron makes a plan to hunt the other stand the next morning. It has been a trying 2 weeks. The public land has been painfully void of deer during the late season. Gone is the daily excitement. The transformation is shocking. These vast forests are nothing like they were a month ago. It doesn't even seem like the same place that carries so many memories from the days when they were chasing November.